Good morning, everybody. My name is Christina Tumians. I'm the zoning administrator. It is 10:30 and I'm calling this meeting of the zoning administrator to order. There are no minutes to be approved at this meeting, so we are now moving on to non-agenda public comment. This is a time when a person may address matters not listed on the agenda, but which are within the subject matter jurisdiction of this committee. If you're attending in person and wish to make a comment, please raise your hand. You can make a comment on anything not listed on the agenda. Seeing no one raise their hand, sorry. Oh, sorry.
We're on the agenda, but we are.
Seeing no one raise their hand, I will now close the public comments and read the statement of purpose. The zoning administrator is appointed by the Planning and Economic Development Director and has the responsibility and authority to conduct public meetings and hearings and to act on applications for minor or reduced review authority projects or entitlements. A determination or decision by the zoning administrator may be appealed to the Design Review Board, Cultural Heritage Board, Planning Commission, or City Council as applicable to the decision. All actions taken by the zoning administrator may be appealed within 10 calendar days. If the final day of the appeal period falls on a non-business day, the appeal period will be extended to the next business day. There are no zoning administrator reports. There are no consent items. We'll move on to the next scheduled item, which is item 6.1. Public hearing for a minor conditional use permit for Pure Vita. And planner Adam Michelson will present.
All right, thank you, Zoning Administrator Tumians. Good morning, everyone, and let me get this up.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for your patience.
Oh,
I need to get that.
You're right. You're perfect. Shut up. I'll zip it.
This is a minor conditional use located at 1506. This property currently operates as a 6-bed community care facility. The project proposes to expand to an 8-bed facility by adding 2 beds. Per the city's zoning code, a minor conditional use permit is required for this expansion. Here is an aerial view of the project location. Drive and the deer run on the left. And then here is a larger neighborhood context. Helen Avenue is located to the north, and then Farmers Lane is located to the east. Okay, so general plan and zoning. The general plan land use designation is low density residential, and the zoning is single family residential R1. These are consistent. The general plan is consistent with the zoning. And as you can see in the image, the yellow is the low density residential, and then to the south, the orange colors are medium density residential as well as high density residential. Let's see, the R1 zone as well as all other residential zones in the city do allow a community care facility by right without a permit for 6 beds or less. And then if there's an increase of beds, in this case, an expansion of 2 beds to 8, it is required that a minor conditional use permit be approved. And finally, the zoning code requires that there's not an overconcentration of community care facilities. So staff has verified that there are no other community care facilities within 300 feet of 1506 Round Drive. So this is a street view of the existing 6-bed facility. This is a 4-bedroom house. It's 2 stories. And as you can see, it looks and operates like any other residential use. It is surrounded by single-family residences, as well as previously mentioned higher density residential uses to the south. This property has a 2-car garage, and it has a 2-car driveway, as well as 2 parking spaces in front of the house that you can see in the image. Here is the floor plan, and to the left is the lower. There's no bedrooms, the lower portion of the house with the office and kitchen, et cetera, and there's no bedrooms. Sorry, that's to the right. And on the left is the image showing the 4 bedrooms. The proposed 2 bedrooms would be added to 1 bedroom to bedroom 2 and 1 bedroom to bedroom 4. And this proposal does not require any interior or exterior modifications to the residence. The proposed project is categorically exempt per CEQA guidelines section 15301. Proposed project involves the addition of 2 beds in an existing single-family home, which is a negligible expansion of the previous use of a 6-bed community care facility. Regarding public comments, since the project notification was sent out on October 25th, 2024, we have received comments and questions regarding parking demand, smoking areas, as well as trash bin size. Community care facilities are required to provide a minimum of 1 off-street parking space per 3 beds. For an 8-bed facility, which is proposed, 3 spaces are required. This property has 4 off-street parking spaces with a 2-car garage, 2 parking spaces available in the driveway, and it also has the 2 on-street parking spaces directly in front of the residence. Additionally, the applicant has confirmed that facility staff does not park on Roan Drive, they park on Town View. That residents do not have vehicles while they stay at 1560 Roan Drive, and that finally visitation does not occur on site. Let's see, the second, in terms of smoking, per the city's municipal code, current smoking regulations are not prohibited on private residential property that is developed and occupied with single-family detached housing. Additionally, the applicant has confirmed that staff manages the smoking areas and that there are designated smoking areas on the property. Additionally, this project is required to comply with noise ordinance, the city's noise ordinance regulations. And then finally, regarding the trash bin size, the applicant was notified and confirmed that they have recently purchased additional trash bins. Issues and findings. There are no unresolved issues as a result of staff review. The applicant has reviewed and accepted all the conditions of approval, and staff analysis has concluded that all required findings can be met. Finally, it is recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a minor conditional use permit to allow an 8-bed community care facility at 1560 Drive. This concludes my presentation, and if you have any questions, I welcome you to reach out. Then my contact information is there.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Michelson. Does the applicant have anything they wish to add to Michelson's presentation?
No.
Now I'm going to open it up to public comment. If you're attending in person and you wish to make a comment, please raise your hand. I will close the public comments. It appears that the applicant has addressed all of the neighborhood issues regarding parking, garbage, noise, The request is to add 2 additional beds to an existing 6-bed facility. The facility continues to look like a single-family home in a single-family residential neighborhood. I see no issues with allowing 2 additional beds to a 6-bed facility. With that, and the recommended conditions, I agree to approve minor conditional use permit CP 24-041 at 1506 Rome Drive. Please note this action is final unless appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department office within 10 calendar days of today's decision pursuant to zoning code section 20-62.030 for this item. That date is December 16, 2020. We'll now move on to item 6.2. This is a public meeting. The hillside development permit for the new residence. 844 Vaughn Court, file number HPP 23-003. And I would be slowly presented.
The zoning administrator Tunians. My name is Sakina Bisla, and the project before you today is a minor hillside development permit for the few residents and ADU at 844 Vaughn Court. The proposal is to construct a 2-story, approximately 7,145 square foot single-family dwelling with 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a garage and a basement, a rooftop terrace and storage, and a pool and deck. There will also be a detached 1,200 square foot accessory dwelling unit. A hillside development permit is required because the proposed structure is significantly larger than the home that was destroyed in the fire. Here's the neighborhood context map, so you can see the location. It's a very large parcel located just off the hillside. And here's a close-up aerial view of the site. You can kind of see this flat pad down here. This is where the original home was. The site is in a planned development zoning district, which is for single-family residential uses. And the general plan land use designation is very low density residential. So the zoning is with the general plan land use designation. Here's a site plan. It's kind of zoomed in to just show you the front of the property off the street there. So the single family dwelling will be, although the footprint is significantly larger than the previous home, it's in the same location as where the previous home was. And then the ADU is located down towards the front of the property. The single family dwelling is not going to be increasing the height from the last home that was there. And the ADU is located on a lower portion of the site. So the impact to the view will be similar to what was there before, and the ADU would not add any impact to the hillside views. Here are some of the elevations. We have the south elevation, which is what you would see coming up the driveway, and then the east elevation, which you would see from the top of the hill. The west elevation is what you would see looking from the neighborhood to the left. And this would be also screened by new landscaping that's coming in. And there will be a I believe fence or retaining wall that runs along here. So it would have somewhat of a 1-story appearance, and it's broken up by the terrace and the rooftop access up here. And then there is also a pool and deck located down here. And then the north elevation which is the back of the home, which you would see from the top to the north, and the residences that are located to the northwest of the property. So you can see again, the height is broken up, it has a one-story appearance on one side, and then as the home slopes down, you can see both stories. And then here are the ADU elevations. So again, from the front, the south elevation, this is what you would see coming up the driveway. But on the side, you can see it slopes up.
Says earthquake, but I don't feel anything.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I just felt it.
Yeah.
It says earthquake alert.
I was wondering why I felt like, I was like, yeah.
Something too.
I don't know if it was the garbage truck.
I
I always thought it was maintenance.
My phone was making noises. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I was.
Surprised.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was like, wow.
My phone is vibrating.
Again, sorry, the side elevations of the ADU, you can see that it will slope upwards with the home, and on the rear, from the back side of the ADU, it would appear as a one-story. So this is the the southwest view, which can kind of be seen from properties on, I believe, Belmont Circle. But again, it would be screened by landscaping, but this is the view that you would see from properties on the lower part of the neighborhood. That is the fence or retaining wall that will kind of be screening off the bottom portion of the home, again, giving it a one-story appearance that's broken up with the deck there, and you can't see it, but again, the rooftop terrace and the access on the other side. The project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act because it involves the construction of a single-family residence in an area designated for residential uses. Same goes for the accessory dwelling unit. It is the construction of a small structure in addition to the single-family residence. There are no unresolved issues as a result of staff review. I did receive some public comment in writing since making this presentation, and I will read it for the record. A neighbor just sent me the proposed plans for Vaughn Court. I would like to register my objection to approval of this plan. I believe that the proposed property looks more like a commercial venture than a single-family dwelling. The size and elevations are not consistent with the single-family nature of that community. Staff analysis has concluded that the findings can be made, and the applicant has reviewed and accepted the conditions of approval. Therefore, it is recommended by the Planning and Economic Development Department that the zoning administrator approve a minor hillside development permit to allow construction of a single-family residence and accessory dwelling unit at 844 Vaughn Court. For any questions or comments, there is my contact information on the screen. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Planner Bisla. Is the applicant present and wishing to add to the presentation?
Yeah, I'm applicant Paul Larson with Goodell and Larson Architect, and this is a NICU owner. And so nothing to add to the presentation, thank you, Mark. But we are here for the field questions if there are any.
Did you want to respond to the comments from the public? Not yet, or?
And the as far as the hillside design, if I can address the fact that we use the existing building pad. That was where the original house was. We kept it within pretty much that pad area that was there. It includes the original house and pool. The ADU is going to be on the court side and screened by trees, so it's really not visible. The only place that the residence is visible from is from Beaumont and Stowe Circle. And there is a visual analysis that has some graphics that address that. So the presence of it does appear like a single-story residence. There was a comment about the nature of the architecture being contemporary. There was a wish on the owner's part to incorporate mezzanines and rooftop access. And so that did create a little bit of a contemporary design, not uncommon to the area. Even on Stowe Circle, there's a very similar residence with stucco facade with a glass railing on it. So not unprecedented. But again, we're sensitive to.
How are we going?
I'm on silent, sorry.
Tsunami warning.
Oh, nomination.
Sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that mine?
Sorry.
Tsunami.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're in danger.
I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, we did work to address and keep the profile down as much as possible from the exposed areas.
Okay.
And we're here to answer questions.
And just out of curiosity, is there an HOA with this? In this
There is
area? Okay. Got it.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
I will open it up to public comments. So thank you. If you're attending in person and wish to make a public comment, please raise your hand. You can have to go first.
I just wanted to ask a follow-up question.
Sorry.
Moment. We each have 3 minutes.
Let's go ahead.
But what I was gonna say, since you're gonna give 3 minutes, let me start with the immediate neighbor.
Okay.
Got it.
I'll start.
So my name is Charles Geber. I'm the immediate neighbor. I live right next door at 836 Fawn Court. A couple questions I would like to say. I mean, first of all, it's 5 bedrooms, 7 baths. How many people are intended to be living in this facility? I heard the project planner say that this area is zoned for single family. Does that mean it cannot be used as a short-term rental? That's a question. I don't know what the answer to that is. Or a multifamily. With 5 bedrooms and 7 baths, I'm just wondering how many people propose to live there. The ADU, the main home is on the site, as pointed out on the original site, but the ADU is in a slightly different place, and that is right outside my view plane. I heard it said that it was going to be blocked by trees, wondering whether these are existing trees or little baby trees that'll take 20 years to block the view. That'll just be planted. Also wondering what the water usage of this facility is with 7 baths, since we're trying to save water in Santa Rosa with 7 bathrooms, and how many people are going to live there and what the water usage would be. So in summary, I find this home to be not like the other homes that exist on our street in size or shape, and I'm very concerned that for its effect on the neighborhood.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me just ask a couple of questions. I noticed in, I think, one of the first
Sorry,
slides.
sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, can I address his comments?
Oh,
Oh, no. We're gonna take all public comments.
Oh, okay, and then come back.
Yes, sorry.
It's fine, just questions and they can answer these, speak your piece fully and then respond when it's their turn.
okay. A couple of questions. On the, toward the beginning of the presentation, I believe I heard you say this neighborhood is designed as very low density. I was wondering what the difference is between very low density and low density. And I share a concern that Mr. Gaber just pointed out, all of the concerns, but then in addition, I've heard from another neighbor as well, that the concern we have is that it is just out of scale to this neighborhood. It's twice the size of all the other houses basically that exist in the neighborhood, and I'm wondering how that affects us as a neighborhood and property values and all of that. I guess those are my 2 questions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No, go.
Okay.
I saw some information that was available online, but I never saw the photos or the views from Stowe Circle. We live on Stowe Circle. So if they're available, I'd like to see those. Also, we're also a rebuild from the glass fire. I think this indicates this home was destroyed in the Tubbs fire. It's actually destroyed in the glass fire of 2020.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
yes, sorry, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that's correct.
So there's some faulty information. But anyway, we're rebuilding our house basically as it was. It's 2,500 square foot rebuild. And every house in the neighborhood is no bigger than 4,000 feet that I'm aware of. This is double that size. That's a concern. But I mean, I guess my main concern here is seeing those views from Stowe Circle.
Thank you.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sir, go ahead.
So my name is Robert Ricker, and I too live on Stowe Circle and have looked at the plot size and have similar concerns as have already been presented. So I'm not going to repeat those other than say when my wife and I reviewed the plans, the proposed plans, and also thought about the amount of traffic, and also at least there was something in writing about, I think, your parents going to live there. And we thought, it just didn't seem credible to think of a 7,000 plus square foot home with 6-car capability plus an ADU that something seemed to be incongruous with the design of it. And even though it's contemporary, and I would say the plan looks very nice, but it seems out of context for that neighborhood. And our concern, not so much looking up at that house, but more noise and also traffic. For a 6-car garage, that kind of presupposes a lot of vehicles. And in that neighborhood, which impacts obviously the direct neighbors, but impacts all of us, that and water usage, those are the two main concerns that we had. Plus the question in credibility, is this going to lead to a lot of noise? Is it going to be rented out, short-term rental? And if so, we've had an experience in the Stowe area down on Hoyle, where that created a lot of discontent with the neighbors, having an Airbnb there and high turnover of people, lots of noise, lots of partying. And I realize it's wine country. A lot of people want to come up here and celebrate. So could you please address that?
Anybody else would like to make public comment?
I'll now close the public comment. Everyone's in luck because we have the short-term rental expert here. So,
Yeah, I can speak to that. So as of now, non-hosted short-term rentals are actually banned. New non-hosted short-term rentals are banned within the city of Santa Rosa. So if they wanted to, the only way that they could do a short-term rental would be if the owner lives on site. And the reason for that is, again, the impacts that you've been experiencing. We found that hosted short-term rentals don't have the same impacts on the neighborhood as non-hosted short-term rentals do. People are less likely to party and generate a lot of noise and nuisances when the owner is right there on the property. So yeah, non-hosted, they would not be able to do. A hosted, if they wanted to.
We did look at the, want me to-
sorry, the public comment is closed.
Oh.
But I wanted to go through some of the questions that were asked, on Avisla. So the property is zone PD, right? So is there, a square footage limitation for house size or bedroom limitation? Or,
I don't believe so. The proposal was reviewed in compliance with the PD. And no, I do not believe, there is a lot coverage.
Lot coverage,
limit. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's a very large lot and they're not supposed to be in it.
okay. And can you explain what very low versus low density?
Yes, so the city's general plan has different residential land use designations. This property is designated very low density, which means that residential development is permitted at between 0.2 to 2 units per acre. And it increases, so then low density is 2 to 8 units per acre, and medium density is 8 to 13 units per acre. So at this site, it is 0.2 to 2 units per acre, and I don't remember what exactly the square footage or the acreage is of the site. You can probably find it.
Yeah.
4.94.
4.94.
What is a unit?
A primary dwelling, a
house.
home, yeah, or if you're in a medium density area like apartments, that's how many apartments could go into a certain amount of space. And so
But no square footage guideline.
not in terms of the home itself, there's lot coverage maximum, so you can only take up so much space on the lot. I'm sorry, what was the number again?
Oh, 4.94 on the acreage.
So they could have between 2 and 9 units, or sorry, between 1 and 9 units on their property with that much space. They're proposing 1. And the ADU, accessory dwelling units, don't count towards residential density. You could have one on top of whatever maximum density is allowed on the site.
And did you have any views from Stowe Circle?
I have the
Okay.
visual analysis for it,
Great.
yeah.
I think it's the last 4 pages in the PDF.
So here is the site from Beaumont with no home on it currently. The Beaumont Court is just to the northwest of the property. And then here it is with the proposed residence. So again, you can see there would be the retaining wall and the pool and the deck would be just right here, and with the rooftop terrace and mezzanine, it kind of breaks up the height. Let's see if I can. So this is the site from Stowe Circle without any development. And here is what it would look like with development. And this is the north elevation, so we'd be looking at,
The creamy color is the house.
yes, sorry, so this is the elevation that, oh, you can't see this.
Oh, I just see the PDF.
Yeah. So this is the elevation that you would see from Stowe Circle. Right there.
Got it. And then there was a question about the ADU being covered by trees or
Yes.
are those existing trees or new trees?
They're new trees, so here is a look at the landscape plan.
Okay.
So when you're coming up the court. The ADU is kind of tucked back up the driveway. And this is all upslope, so the ADU would be much lower than the home. It would be screened from the, I believe this is west, from the properties to the west. This is all open space. And looking from the court, this would pretty much be the view here. And I believe a lot of these trees are actually larger in
Not existing tree.
Yeah, I don't know.
no, they would be planted, yes.
The existing trees, we did retain where we could, where they're.
What wasn't burned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ADU is along the, what is the existing driveway now, is that correct?
Yes.
Is it, as you're facing the lot, is it on the right side of the driveway?
It's
Left side.
The left side of the driveway?
The curb cut, if you look at it, the curb cut's nearly straight in front of it, and then the driveway goes up to the right of it.
The driveway goes to the right of the ADU, you're saying, the existing driveway.
New driveway, which is,
Oh, the new
it's similar to that location though. Existing driveway is in about that same location.
Then it's not right by my house. It's on the other side
Yeah,
of the
that's what I'm trying to
driveway.
figure out.
Yeah.
So that little curve in the bottom right corner is not the existing cul-de-sac, that's a new driveway.
But this is the cul-de-sac here.
Yeah, that's existing curb cut.
Isn't this the driveway here?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Okay. I'm off the right of this picture. For me, that's really.
So looking at like an aerial view, it would be. This is where the existing home was here. So this is where the home would be, where the previous home was before. And then the ADU would be located just about here with the driveway coming around this way.
So you pass the ADU as you drive towards the residence? is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, and you'd be going uphill. So the height of the home would be the tallest thing in your view going up because the ADU is on a lower part of the property. And the height of the home is not any higher than the previous home that was there before the fire, so it'd have the same visual impact as it previously did.
Like that.
Okay, we want to limit the. Okay. Is there anything else you want to address?
Our water department and water engineering did review the plans.
Okay.
There are conditions of approval on the resolution. I can't speak to them because I am not an expert in that area, but they did review and approve the plans and provide conditions of approval.
So when the fire came through, water was obviously an issue for all of us up there. And the question still stands about 7 bathrooms, the landscaping. I mean, that seems like that's going to put a significant demand on the water.
I'm happy to speak on behalf of water. The water demand is based on, we look at that with the general plan, updated general plan, and this is low density residential. That we don't govern how many people live in the house. It is a large house. I find it unlikely that all 7 bathrooms will be running at the same time with only 5 bathrooms. However, as Planner Bisla said, there are 7, or the water department has reviewed it. There have been no concerns raised, and the project has been conditioned appropriately. And I should introduce myself. My name is Susie Murray, and I'm the supervising planner for current development. So, yeah, you bet.
So there's a question as to how many residents would be in the home. I guess that will be answered in a short period of time.
Yes, I have that in my notes and I
Okay,
believe.
so yeah, I can guarantee this house isn't a spec house. It isn't gonna be sold. It's gonna be lived in by my parents and their friends. So 4 people, they're retirement age, so 60 to 70 years old. They have a lot of kids and grandchildren that come by during the holidays. So they like a bigger house, but generally it's gonna be 4. And then I think my mom's friend has like a disabled son that's gonna be living there, so then 5 full-time living there, yeah.
In the main house or the ADU?
In the main house,
And
yeah.
who's in the ADU?
ADU, it could be rented out in the future, we don't know yet, yeah.
And that would be a long-term rental or a short-term?
Long-term rental, yeah.
Okay, and you guys can talk after the meeting too.
Yeah.
It's nice that you guys can meet as neighbors. Okay, so is there anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate, you did the best you could to be as sympathetic as possible to the hillside with your use of stem walls, for the wall of the building nestled into the hillside. I liked how sympathetic you were to, the hill. It's clear from the visual, simulations that the house won't stick up very obviously from the hill. You'll still enjoy the views, but the house won't stick up too obviously for the neighbors. I understand the neighbors' concerns with the size of the house. But there's no limitation as in our code as far as house size or bedroom size. People can have large families. There's no law against having a large family or having 5 bedrooms or 7 bathrooms, or having lots of guests. We do have a short-term rental ordinance that governs short-term rentals. We have a noise ordinance that governs noise. We have, code enforcement that takes care of nuisances if that arises. We also don't have limitations on how many cars you can have. So with that, the design fits our hillside development permit. I think you used those guidelines and took them to heart. And I agree with your findings, Flannery Slum. Because of that, I will be approving hillside development permits HDP 23-003. Please note this action is final unless an appeal is filed with the Planning and Economic Development Department office within 10 calendar days of today's decision pursuant to zoning code section 20-62.030. For this item, that date is December 16th, 2024. This concludes our business for this meeting, and the meeting is adjourned.